if a character presents in one way, but actually can only make choices, a different way, then that character in many ways are more the person that they are at a system level than what they present at a writing or aesthetic level. Hi, I am Demon Dev, and lately the thing that's been on my mind is I guess a lot of people wondering why I believe in myself with this project. I've been working on it 5 years, heading into the sixth year. I do think that this will be the year at the end of 2022 that I release a pretty solid playable demo, probably 2 weeks in game time, hundreds of conversations, using the full Electra system for dialogue choice in 2 dimensions, expression and meaning separately, and AI reaction to those. Um, I guess at a baseline, I am a very optimistic person. I believe that incredible things are achievable by really everyone, and not even necessarily based on skills alone. I think part of it's just chance or luck that you could go about the things the right way and just kind of be open to the way the project wants to be. Um, so for me, I take a very optimistic approach towards the future of this project, to the game and the writing tool, and that just means that I believe that if I continue working on it, I feel very inspired by the project, and I remain open to the big improvements, the most important improvements, um, and the most important ideas, and discarding the things that aren't working. That it will eventually work really well. I am skeptical that I'm going about it the right way at any one moment for every, minor design decision. And there have been thousands of decisions on how to arrange the dialogue options, how to hide or collapse, how to visualize the effects of those dialogue options. One of the kind of core innovations of this game is that I want to bring clarity and feedback to both the dialogue choice that you select in advance. So some games do something like there's a aggressive or a conciliatory option, but you don't really know what the properties of those really do. It's very contextual. Like, okay, is this a hostage negotiation situation? Am I supposed to comfort the perpetrator or pressure him aggressively? That's super arbitrary. I think in most cases, maybe you're able to sort through some evidence ahead of time and try to stereotype the personality of that bad guy character. But even that, I think, is very limited, kind of gimmicky psychological. It's asking a lot of the players to connect the dots there and decide where to go from there. So my system is, I think, very revolutionary in that I'm not just attaching these adjectives like aggressive or conciliatory, but these adjectives have a consistent universal effect. So conciliatory might be a mixture of friendly and serious. Uh, and those two sub properties, friendly and serious, have direct effect on the relationship and on the reaction that you can see play out. So it might move the bond of the relationship up, a half a point, and it might move the respect down a half a point. And you can see that all play out partially in advance. You can see little icons pop up for the effects that it will have if you know the character that you're talking to's personality, if you've seen them react to similar expressions before. So you know that. But then you also, after you choose your option, so maybe you're shooting in the dark a bit, you will then discover the effects of these choices if you didn't already know, and then see their decision making process. You will see the AI every single time select between however many options that it is possible for the AI to select from at that time. In many games, there's only one thing the AI is ever going to say. And I think that's okay. You can do that as far as having a fair systematized system. But what you shouldn't do, in my opinion, is present that as a decision point. You should not make an AI character always react by killing the hostage and make it seem like the player could have saved the hostage. That's infuriating, and even though that illusion of choice can be very emotionally compelling and drive you to play the game a bunch of times, my personal preferences for games is that the mechanics inspire strategies that get results, not not illusory choices that don't matter. And so that's, so these games are bad based on these theories. No, I really love all games with dialogue choice. There's been a lot of incredible things done, but the reason that I'm so confident in my own approach is that I'm taking the strategy component more seriously as a top priority than anything else. When you choose a dialogue option that has certain emotional components, those will always pass through into the relationship, and those will always pass into the AI's response to what you're saying in that moment. And you still don't have complete control over what they're going to say. It's still written responses, but the player can know for sure that they got the best option or the worst option or a middle option, or they can see if the AI was always going to say the same thing. And the player can say, instead of, maybe in other games, it'd be like, oh, I should replay that. I hate that ending. They can be like, wow, this character is super stubborn. I hate them. They can have an informed, genuine interaction with who that AI character is, because the character's personality is partially made up of the systems that govern them. And that's all super annoying way to say, if a character presents in one way, but actually can only make choices, a different way, then that character in many ways are more the person that they are at a system level than what they present at a writing or aesthetic level. And that is completely missed by maybe all dialogue systems up until this point. And then, so what else do I have going for me? Basically, I've been doing 3D animation and programming for a really long time, specifically with Blender and Unity. And while I have certainly not gotten to kind of the highest levels of quality with either the 3D or the programming, I've stayed in a very comfortable kind of prototype level where I'm extremely fast at building unusual systems. And so I'm really well suited to this kind of a project where I have to think up ways to present dialogue options in a new way. And I'm just really excited about the possibilities of VR too. I was early into the scene and just really enjoy the technology. And though it's really difficult to use, I think it's a really special place to do something that is, well, a game focused on relationship building and that sort of thing. So that kind of all makes sense to me, and it makes me feel like I made some good decisions there. And timeline wise, I think that I am the kind of person that can work on something that's, that feels meaningful to me for a really long time. I've been working on this project for 5 years, going on 6 now. And I still really love it. It still fills me with a lot of inspiration and hope about, what I could do with it, what other people will get out of it. And that makes me feel like I will continue trying things until I get it right, and continue telling people about it until they either tell me what I'm doing wrong, or they let other people know that something special is happening here. And I do think something special is happening here. Most games don't focus on relationships at a mechanical level of strategy, and I think that could be a really cool thing. And I'm excited to continue working on it. So I appreciate you staying up to date with how development is going, and please, if you haven't gotten a chance to try the Electra tool as a free Unity add-on, you should definitely check that out, because there's some really cool things going on that I think are really fun to play with. But yeah, have a good one, and I'll talk to you again soon.